Hey everybody, it's Missy. Thanks for joining me again today. Today's layout is for the Hip Kit Club, and this is another layout using the 2016 January Hip Kits. And there's my picture for today, and I'm going to be using a lot of the My Mind's Eye goodies from the kits this month. And I've already cut this circle die cut on my Cameo in one of the My Mind's Eye pattern papers, and I'm also going to use that little February card that came from one of the crate paper pattern papers. And I'm going to do this kind of backwards based on how I normally create a layout. I'm using white cardstock as my base, and I usually do all my mixed media first, but for some reason this layout just came together backwards, I guess you could say. I pretty much do my mixed media at the end, and I don't know why. At this point, I like the way it looked clean, and I rarely do, super clean layouts. I was focusing on the layering. I wanted to create lots of layers with the pattern papers and everything, and then I wanted to use a lot of the embellishments that came in the kits because there are a ton of embellishments, and so I really wasn't focusing on the mixed media at this point, but I will do some shortly. All right, so I liked the idea of these little bitty typewriters, and so I'm going to fussy cut 3 of them out, and the picture is of my daughter from a few years ago. She put my glasses on, and she doesn't even wear glasses, but I just thought she looked so cute in my glasses, so I took a couple pictures, and she just looks so old and studious, and so I wanted this layout to be kind of a bookworm type thing. I'm going to use several glasses and typewriters and just things that remind me of being smart, book smart, loving to read, loving to write, and the typewriters kind of reminded me of that. And so if that even makes sense, that's kind of where my mind was going. I do a lot of fussy cutting. I've got the typewriters, and now I'm going to use these little hearts that I'm cutting from that crate paper. And this is kind of how the design is going to look. And I'm going to add a lot of little bits and pieces as I go. I'm going to go ahead and stick down that background design. And that circle die cut, it's from the Silhouette Studio software store. I get the Silhouette store, I guess that's what it's called, online, and it's meant for a card, but you can manipulate any of those shapes to kind of make whatever you want. And so I just made a bunch of circles, and I love how that looks when it cuts it out on pattern paper. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media here. Actually, it's just one medium. It's some of the gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine from a couple of kits ago, and I'm going to mix in some of the mustard. That's from my stash. And I wanted kind of that gold mustardy yellow color that pops throughout some of these My Mind's Eye papers, and I'm just using my water brush and just kind of making some smudges here and there around the photo and around the February piece there. I just wanted some of the media or the ink peeking out from behind there, and so it's kind of like a glittery yellow color. That's a real nice technical term, huh? Pardon my hair. Oh my gosh, I'm so ashamed that you had to see that. Yeah. Hey, that's when I scrap my best pages, is when my hair looks the worst. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to add in some black tangled thread, and I wanted to tuck it underneath there. And I do some stitching, but I wanted to get that thread under there first, and I'm about out of my black thread. Yep, I just used the last part of it. All right, so I did some gold stitching just around the February card there, just for a little bit of added detail. And now I'm going to start to play with those little pieces that I cut out, and I really want to use those glasses. This was the perfect picture to use those glasses. They're so cute. And I wanted my embellishments to be kind of, not necessarily super straight. I kind of wanted to make a bunch of little layers with these little typewriters there. And so that's what I'm doing. And I love that there is black included in these My Mind's Eye papers. I love the pop of the black against all the pinks and the yellows. Just think it makes it look really sharp. So I decided that I needed more glasses. And so on one of those My Mind's Eye 3x4 cards, there is this little card here, and it's got 3 pair of glasses. And so I'm going to cut out the gold ones and the pink ones. And then I decide that the inside of the lens being pink, it's just too much pink. And so I cut out the middle part of the gold ones. And I like the way that looks a lot better. I love pink, don't get me wrong, but I didn't want it to be so much pink that it's just overkill. And I'm really liking how this is looking. I really enjoyed putting this together, and it's very strange for me because it doesn't really have a lot of, messy stuff on it as far as inks and paints go. And I was okay with that. But the more I went, the more I couldn't stand it. I had to add some messiness to it, but it's very subtle in the end. So I didn't want to overdo it because there is a lot of busy stuff going on. I used some of the brads here. There's a lot of really, really fun My Mind's Eye stuff this month, and I love their brads. They always have brads, and so I was very, very excited to see those in the kits this month. Oh, I can't talk today. I don't know what my problem is. Oh, I know what it is. I had dinner with my friend tonight, and we had dessert, and I had a big ice cream sundae. So I have ice cream on the brain. That's what my problem is. These are Heidi Swapp, and they are super cute. They're shiny gold, clear stickers, and I stuck that one that says love down, but I'm going to wind up moving it down by the glasses a little bit. It just didn't look right there by February. I think it's because they're both cursive, but they're different fonts, and it just looked too jumbly, if that makes sense. Okay, so back to the crepe paper sticker sheet here. I'm going to pull off some of these little gold glitter hearts, and I'm going to put them on those little typewriter papers so it looks like they're typing out hearts. And I did move that gold sticker. So I want to add something to the top and the bottom, and this is one of the basic gray papers, and it's kind of a off-white with little teeny tiny black dots, and I just want to add a wonky crooked strip to the bottom and to the top, and I'm going to kind of ruffle up the edges there so it's not perfectly straight. And I like how that looks. It kind of gives the layout a top and a bottom. And okay, here's where I'm gonna come in with some messy stuff. So I'm gonna start with some of the Pucker Up Pink Dazzlers that come in the color kit, and I'm going to jazz it up a little bit and make it a different color because the My Mind's Eye stuff is a different shade of pink. So I added in some red ink spray that I have. It's also a Shimmer's product. It's called My Bleeding Heart. And I just want to change up the shade of that pink a little bit. So I just smudge it around, mix and match. And I'm also going to add in a smidgen of the Abandoned Coral paint that we got a couple months ago. And I'm just going to keep adding and mixing and smudging until I get the right shade that I want. And it's still, like a texture paste, but I am thinning it out a little bit since I am adding some spray, which is liquid. And so it's going to thin it out just a little bit. But I don't want it to be a paste anyway. I want to use it mainly for the color. So I'm going to water it down a little bit more and use my water brush. And this is just going to go around the edges a little bit. And I just want a very light, light smudges of the pinkish reddish color around the photo and the card, just to kind of make it look like it's coming out from behind. And I didn't want to cover up all of the gold and the mustard that I put down originally, and so I don't cover all of that up. But you can still see the shimmer from the gold color shine and the mustard through this pink that I'm adding. And I really like using the water brush because it makes it really easy to create a faded look or an ombre effect, so to speak, because the more you squeeze it, the more water comes out. And so the more the water that comes out is going to water it down a little more each stroke, and so it's going to blend out some of the color. And I like that about the water brush. And so it's starting to look a little bit smudgy around the edges. And then I'm going to add in a little bit more of the gold, just because of the shimmer and the sparkle. And that doesn't make it look too busy, I don't think. I am going to add a little bit to the top and the bottom, just a little bit, just to echo the pink. And the water brush is, it also makes it easier to do, last minute additions like I'm doing here. I decided to do this, after I'd already stuck everything down. And so with that little pointy tip, you can really get in to tiny places and make it look like your whole background is smudged. Because looking at it now, you wouldn't be able to tell if I used the packaging technique before or not. So that's another perk of getting a water brush, is it's easy to kind of wedge it into tiny places there and, make it look like you did a big area when you really didn't. So I'm going to come in with these Studio Calico teeny tiny wood veneer letters, and my title of this page is going to be #SmartyPants. And so I'm going to be spelling that out. And it takes me a while to get everything straight, but I wanted to test it out before I glued everything down to make sure it was going to look okay in that area. And it did. And so I want those letters to be black. And it does not get any easier than taking a black marker and coloring the letters. That's all I did here. I didn't add any paint or any gesso or anything. I just scribbled black ink right on top of them. Super easy. Now, this does take a little bit of time because they are tiny, and if you have some of these tweezers, it does help when you want to glue them down, because they're really little. And, depends on how many you're using, but it does take some time to get them all attached. But I love how they look. I'm so glad we got these. So it's coming close to being finished. I'm going to add in a little bit of journaling, and that area right there seems like the perfect little nook to add my journaling. And I just talk about Reese wearing these glasses and how I hope she never really has to wear glasses. I had to start wearing glasses in the 5th grade, and I really hope that her vision stays clear as it is. But time will tell. So I'm going to come in with my date stamp, even though I already have a date card right there, and I didn't even think about that. But that's okay. I do wind up drawing a heart around 17 because this was taken on February 17th. The last thing I'm going to do is come back to my pink paint and water it down even more and use a big brush to add some splatters and finally some black color shine. I got to add some black since I've got elements of black going through the layout, and that is going to wrap it up. Even though I did this completely backwards than I normally do, I really love how it turned out. I think it's really fun. I love the glasses, the typewriters. I just think they're really, really cute. I did add some rub-ons to the top and the bottom there, and that's also from My Mind's Eye. So that's the final layout. Here comes some close-ups. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I had a really good time putting it together. So let me know if you have any questions or any comments about anything that I may have forgotten to say or left out, or if you have any questions about any of the kits. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.